Hey, it's Victoria, and you are now listening to the Pass Rush Podcast with your host, DJ Clennon.
It's your boy DJ Clennon, the host of the Pass Rush Podcast, and I'm sorry I'm a little late on this. It's actually been longer than I wanted to get this video out, but the Colorado versus USC football game, just giving my opinion on it, Colorado actually played a lot better than I expected them to play, and I actually feel like they could have won the game, actually, if the changes that was made in the second half of the football game was made in the first half earlier on. USC more than likely would not have either won that game or would have went on to go to overtime. Now USC, I will say in their defense as well, is that probably because they were up so big that they started to play a little lax in the second half, and then Colorado, that allowed them to get the momentum rolling, and at that point it was hard to stop them, and that's because of Omarion Miller, who just tore it up out there. Like, he literally went out there and tore it up, did something that freshmen dream of, to go out there and just perform in the way that he did. So that was really impressive from him as well, like just seeing what he was able to do and disrupt on a big stage. So shouts out to him, he did a great job. Shedeur played lights out. He's the top quarterback in the fourth quarter for the college football season so far, where he's at like a 94.5% I seen, and he lights it up. But the issue is that sometimes it's just a slow start, which he admitted to, they admitted to, and they just have to get their playmakers the ball earlier to be able to get that spark. Now the defense for Colorado, Cormani played really well. Now what I would like to see is Cormani build on this momentum and show that I can be this type of player all the time. Now Dion went on to say, Coach Prom, he said that he didn't see this in practice from Miller or Cormani. Now with coaching, you want to get players that you trust. Like when you're in the seats like me or you or whoever, like when you're in those seats, you're like, hey man, this player was really good, he's better, you should put him out there, but you're not seeing him on a day-to-day basis to really make your opinion. For example, you got somebody like LeBron, who, regardless on how good he is, he's putting in that work day in and day out all the time, versus players that come in, they have potential to be really good, but they just don't fit that bill, and they don't actually live up to their potential because of the work that they're putting in on the outside, or just situational things take place. Cormani and Miller, this isn't really one of those cases to me where they just are more so gamers and they're not practice players. Now you have those people, where you got some people who are just gamers. Like when the game is on and the lights is on, they're going to perform. You got some people where at practice they're superstars, but in the game they're not. It happens. I know that I played with a few players who were not necessarily gamers, but they were better without pads than they were with pads. Like, we had some players who went on to do like amazing things in like 7-on-7s and stuff like that, but when it came down to having the pads on, that same spunk wasn't there. And that might have been the case for these players as well, where Cormani just didn't take practice serious. So if a receiver catches a ball, okay, whatever, like he ain't gonna do that in no game though. Or same for Miller, like he's not running the routes as crisp or being in these same open spots in the zone and the man and all that at the time he needs to be in them at practice, but in the game he knew to do that. Sometimes you might have that as the case. Is that the case? We really don't know. Coach Prime has been pretty vague about what it is that Miller wasn't showing, but for Cormani, he said, like, as far as like the little things like practice and being prepared and watching film and all those things, sometimes you get so used to your talent leading you all the way that you don't think about building on that with doing the little things that people behind you were doing because, well, you didn't have to. Like, you just like, well, I didn't have to watch film in high school. What I'm doing that for? Like, I'm just better. What I watch, like, I didn't have to know the player across from me because I just knew my presence wasn't going to make him play as good as that he, as he would, or anything of that nature. Like, he maybe only prepared against those top players that he might have seen in high school, stuff like that. Or just with meetings, okay, he's a couple minutes late, coach really don't get on him too much because he's your best player. You're not going to set him out. But in college, you can afford to do that if you know that your team can still perform, and also if you have the leash level that Coach Prime has, where he's already proven that his philosophy will work for Colorado. So what he's doing is working. So if he doesn't play a 5-star like Cormani, the AD and the booster club and all of them aren't pressuring to get this guy out of here, because it's like, hey, this is a 5-star. He was our number 1 recruit and you're not playing him. Like, we're not doing that. Like, at other schools, you might not have that same leash, especially as a first-year head coach, where your hands are sometimes tied when you take certain coaching positions or certain positions as a whole, where they're telling you, you can't do this, and this. And you're building on getting that more of a leash and more of a reputation to make decisions without the outside AD, booster club, all of them chiming in on what you should do. Deion's able to make all these decisions on his own, and they stand by those decisions. So with Cormani, he's getting a lesson to where you can't just be a gamer anymore. His presence would have been felt in every game that they've already had. Would Colorado have lost those 2 games if Cormani had played all the time? Oregon, sure, because like that was a blowout. But for the USC game, they were a touchdown away. Does that happen if Cormani's playing? Does Brendan Rice go on to score those touchdowns with Cormani on him? We don't know. So his ladder of decision making has affected the outcome of this game just way before the game even took place, just what led up to the game. So Coach Prime can see that, with his team, like, hey, we're better when everybody's buying in, when everybody's playing at their best, when they're following the system that we put in place. So I think I undersold them a little bit, saying that they would only score 28 points, but they actually went on to score 41, and I like that. Now, I think what's next as far as Arizona State for Deion and Colorado, I think they go on to win. They are favored to win right now. I think they go on to win, but it's going to be a shootout. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a shootout. Now, Travis Hunter is not supposed to play. Will he end up playing? We really don't know yet, but he's not projected to play right now until after the bye week, which would be when they get ready to play UCLA, which is that's something, because like everybody's expecting him to come back because it's just to be 3 weeks, but he will be back around that time. Now, with Arizona State, do I think they need Travis Hunter to win? Not necessarily. I think they just need to. What we need to see is that Colorado State ending, like the way they played at the end of that game on offense, to secure overtime and to secure the win. And what we need to see is that second half of USC the entire time, because USC allowed Arizona State to come back as well when they played them. So I just think that's really what you really need to see in order for Colorado to continue winning. I think they can win every game that they have left on their schedule if they continue to build upon what they've been doing, because right now, honestly, they're still a first-year team, and you can see that in these last 2 games that, okay, again, this is a first-year team. Things are still gelling, things are still coming together. but they're so far along. That's just my opinion, because first year teams usually get beat bad all the time, or like they're not even competing with a top 10 team at all. And for Colorado, they're going to play, given the rankings right now, 3 of them with Oregon, USC, and Washington. They will play those top teams. I don't know when the last time that's happened for a first year head coach, and he's shown that they can bounce back. Like they showed some resiliency, they showed some fight. They didn't just lay down to USC, and I'm impressed. I just will continue to see what happens, and I think again they go on to win this game this week. They can win every game going forward. Just depends on how they get out the blocks and if the defense can continue to come together. We just need to see more, and of course some of those injured pieces are coming back. So can't wait to see what happens. And that's just my take on what we've seen and what we will continue to see from Colorado. Can't wait. Coach Prime is doing a great thing. Love what he's doing there. And I'm out of here. See ya.
Up and I shake the room.